Ryan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So, thanks first of all for doing this.
No, thanks for coming in.
It's great for having you over from Australia. So you travelled quite a bit now today to get here.
Yeah, I have actually. It's quite a bit of a trip through Abu Dhabi to get here to London.
Yeah. So hopefully you sit back and relax and enjoy the flight.
Yeah. You know what? I'm used to it these days. I do a fair bit of travel.
Okay.
So every year I'll do this trip, 3-4 times at least.
Brilliant.
So
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you get used to it after a while.
That's
it's nice to have forced time away from, crying children and all sorts of stuff in the house and, a little bit of quiet time.
Exactly.
24 hours plus.
So talk to us we're talking about the RodeCaster Pro.
Yeah.
So I'm from Birmingham Cameras in Dublin. We're one of Ireland's leading photographic stores in Dublin. We range from kind of medium low-end compacts all the way up to the high-end DSLRs.
Yeah.
Some of our big brands will be the likes of Panasonic, Canon, Nikon, Fujifilm and Sony.
Yeah.
We are now starting to go into the market of doing video.
Yeah.
And we're actually now just after being approved for doing podcasts.
Right, yeah, of course.
So new age, new era, I suppose everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
We kind of took a feel to it and we said, let's try it, let's see how it goes.
Absolutely.
And see what we can get out of it.
Yeah.
So talk to us about what we have here.
Right. So first of all, to talk about the RodeCaster Pro, it's probably best to talk about podcasting in general.
Of course.
Because some people out there maybe haven't engaged very well with podcasting so far.
Yeah.
They haven't heard about it. So basically podcasting is on-demand radio of any interest group you like. You don't have to have a channel or a frequency to broadcast on. You can create your own show, whether it's for a business, whether it's for interest groups, whether it's a creative show where you're doing dramatic kind of reconstructions of stories or something. And podcasting is growing faster than anything else at the moment. It's the world's fastest growing consumed media.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Which 10, 15 years ago, that was YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at how huge that is these days. And Spotify have already announced that they're spending $500 million this year on podcast acquisitions.
Okay.
And the platform's growing so fast. There's more and more podcasts every day.
Yeah.
There's so much reason to get into podcasting, no matter what your interest group is.
Yeah, I think it'll achieve to a lot of photographers who actually go and photograph events. Whether they be a novice, whether they be a pro, it's a new era. It's a new something for them to do in terms of podcast, especially with a soundboard like this. What they can achieve, basically.
Yeah. The nice thing now, the RodeCaster Pro basically is the world's first fully integrated podcasting production studio, and we've just been doing a little bit of kind of training and talking about this today. And how easy does this make podcasting?
Oh, unbelievable! Like from straight in, micro SD card, 4 balance XLR inputs, 4 headphone monitoring. You can record outputs as well, so you can go directly into studio monitors. You can listen through it via that way as well, and record directly into a laptop.
That's it. We're recording to a laptop right now out of the USB-C output on this unit. We can do multi-channel if we want. At the moment, we're just recording the stereo mix because it sounds great straight off the board. So, but what the RodeCaster Pro integrates is 4 really nice high-quality microphone preamps, right? A whole bunch of digital signal processing. So what you're hearing right now is compression, de-essing, noise gating. You notice every time I stop speaking, it's dead silent, right? It's an auto mixer. It's automatically cutting out all of that background noise that you don't want.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, I can even, as an example right now, I can turn off that processing. And
immediately you can
this is a really nice microphone, but this is the dry track that you would normally record.
Yeah.
And with the RodeCaster Pro, it's with a couple of really simple settings. You choose the strength of your voice in terms of how loudly spoken are you, how well do you project, and then you choose the tone of your voice. Is it a low, medium, or high tone of voice? I always select medium for myself. I don't have the deepest voice. If I had a deeper voice, the Barry White kind of tones, then my darling. Is that even the right guy? No, it's not. But onwards from that, we've got a bunch of other channels here. So we've got the USB channel. Now, we're recording over USB right now, but at the same time, I can play music back over iTunes or something like that. On the USB channel, you can set what's called a mix minus. And what that does is it enables you to make, for instance, Slack or Skype or WhatsApp calls, right, with no echo back to the person calling. Now, normally that's actually really difficult to do. It sounds a simple thing, but it's called a mix minus because you're getting the mix of every single thing on that show minus the input channel of yourself, right? Yeah. Now, radio stations do that all the time when they have callers come in, and the way that they do that is with a piece of gear called a telephone hybrid, and that basically sends the whole mix of the station out to the caller without them actually receiving an echo of themselves.
Yeah.
We've got 3 channels that can achieve that. So first of all, on the USB channel, you can achieve that for Skype calls by enabling the mixed minus. But then we have these two other channels here. We've got a Bluetooth channel, and we've also got a mobile device channel. Yep. The mobile device channel is a wired connector on the back here. It's a 3.5mm jack that is a tip ring sleeve. It's a mobile connector. And what it does is it takes the headphone output of your device, music, phone calls, whatever, into the RodeCaster Pro, and then it does a mic level output from the RodeCaster Pro back into that device, and that's how you can actually record on the device, or you can even have, you know, something like a caller come in and then have an echo-free phone call. And then the other really cool thing is we've got the Bluetooth channel that does the same thing totally wirelessly. I can connect my phone. I think I've actually got my phone connected over Bluetooth right now.
Okay, brilliant. So we
and
can
if I wanted to play, you know, some kind of, I've actually got a song playing.
There we go.
So I can just turn it up.
Straight in.
It's a very unusual song. Let's skip on it a little bit.
We're in the right scene for it.
Exactly, we are. So straight away, you can hear this is an amazing track called Till the Sky Turns Black by the Teskey Brothers.
Okay, very good.
And I can fade that out, you know, and take that out of the mix there. But it's that simple. That's totally wirelessly, and you're getting music onto your podcast. And then the other thing that's really cool is that the RodeCaster Pro ships with a whole bunch of different sounds on this really cool section, which is the sound pads. Yeah. So for instance, if I wanted to bring in, you know, some music, I can hit the button here. You go, welcome to the podcast about the RodeCaster Pro. You know, today we're going to be talking about all of the features of the RodeCaster Pro. Exactly. I can fade that out, and then I can stop that sound. I can bring it back up again. Play some kind of spooky sound. You know, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can load your own sounds on there with your computer, or you can record directly to the sound pads as well on board.
Great.
Now, something that is core to the functionality of this that we haven't even spoken about is the fact that you can just hit this record button on top if you have a micro SD card plugged in, and you can record on board. Okay. So you can live stream over USB or record via USB. You can also record directly on board, and then you also have a pair of line outputs controllable by the speaker output, so that you can even use it at live events. Yeah. So it makes it so flexible.
So I think the thing about it nowadays, especially when you have a lot of videographers who are going to events and they're looking to hook up with the person who's doing the sound, they're looking for a line output. Now you basically bring this unit, you can do it all yourself.
Absolutely. You know? If you have this at, you know, a good example of that would be like a wedding, for instance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a podcast at all. No. But this is still one of the best devices you can use. And that's because you can play music either via Bluetooth or even via USB. If you've got some software to play music for dancing, even if you've got a DJ console, you want to plug it in via the line output into the mobile device channel, that's expecting a line input as well, stereo. So you can play music through this. You can have the MC on one of these channels with their microphone fully mixed, sounding really nice and rich like this. You can then also have a podium mic on one of the other channels, and you hit record at the start of the night, have your main speaker output level here, and you can run your whole podcast, not podcast, your whole audio for the night directly on the RodeCaster Pro. Yeah, sorry, my head's always in podcasting with this thing, but it's so flexible.
You know? Yeah, it really is. It's endless.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, look, I think we'll leave it there. Listen, thanks so much for coming over from Australia.
Hey, thank you so much for coming over from Ireland to learn about the RodeCaster Pro. Yeah. And it's been my pleasure.
Appreciate it. And maybe one day we'll get you into our store.
I would love to. That'd be great.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks very much.